Welcome to Coach's Roundtable. I'm Ed Codi. To my right, the Swami, George Abraham. To my left, the Tiger, Albert Campman. He has spring fever. He's getting a fungo bat out. He just needs someone to catch the flies. Let's go to high school basketball. We're down to the final weeks of the regular season. Top scorers, boys, Chris Keppel of Freeport, 26. Brahim Alston of Summit Academy, 25. Robbie Carmody of Mars, 23. He averages 20.3 per game. Cole Morris of Union, Reimersburg, 23. Curtis Aiken, North Allegheny, 22. 22.5 average on the season. Ryan Dutton of Slippery Rock High School, 22. Christian Schmidt of Mars, 22. Josh Bill of Freeport, 22. 19.3 on the season. Caden Young, Grove City High School, 21. Kenneth Yukon, North Catholic, 21. Jackson McKee of Knock, 21. Andrew Petcash of Pine Richland, 21. Averages 22.2. And Jake Jewett of Montauk had 20. Ezra Way of Summit Academy, he had 20. He averages 22.9.
Hey, one thing about the Summit, they lost one. They have two in there, and one went home. So they were building a
well, you have right now Alston and Way.
And they had a third guy that went home. So they'd have been really tough in the playoff.
And for the girls, Sam Bream of North Catholic, 27. She averages 25.7 on the season. Amanda Kalin, Pine Richland, 25. She averages 20.9. She's headed to Duquesne University. Ellie Thompson, AC Valley, 25. Leanne Gibson, Carn City, 23. Ty Johnson of Mars, 22. Katie Stang of Riverside, 21. She averages 17.6. Ellison Riley of Knock, 20. Alasia Graves of Montauk, 20. And then maybe the game of maybe in years, Class A girls, Alice School, 85. Imani Christian, 71. Kaylee Koenig of Imani had 55 points. She averages 46. You think that was good? How about Dana Rouse of the Alice School did her one better with 56. Rouse averages 23 a game. I never heard of two players in any high school game ever averaging or scoring over 50 in a game.
No, that's amazing. The pace of the game must have been up and down, and both teams pressing and they open court. That's the only way I can figure somebody scoring that many points.
Makes me skeptical of the defense. When I hear 109 points or something. Two people. Hey, girls, real quick. Last night, Slippery Rock, John Tabish girls broke a 63-game win streak by the Hickory Hornets. Took them out at the Rock Box last night. Huge win for Slippery Rock.
Great. Indoor track. Slippery Rock High School freshman Sierra Nagy. She set a new school indoor record in the high jump when she went 16 feet 3 inches at Akron University. Pretty good for a freshman.
Was it in the long jump or the high jump?
You said the high jump. I said, oh my God.
No, long jump, not the high jump. Long jump. That'd be a great jump. I just do that to see if you guys are paying attention sometime.
You got me on that one. Oh my goodness.
I looked at the paper real quick to make sure.
Yes. Wonder Woman.
I think I was watching some science fiction show the other day. And in swimming, Knox Brooke Zakowski, she won 3 events in the 50 freestyle, the 100 backstroke, and then she was a member of the winning 200 medley relay team. And high school football, Pine Richland defensive end, offensive lineman Matt Hampson. He made a verbal to Princeton University. He was a member of the PG Fab 22. Watched him play 4 times over the past 2 years. He's an outstanding player, around 6'4", 250.
We know he's an outstanding student, too.
Going to Princeton.
That didn't take long. Was it Princeton?
Yeah.
And in college basketball for the women, Lexi Carpenter, Slippery Rock University, 24 points. Let's go to our basketball power rankings. Quad A, boys, Latrobe remaining undefeated, number 1, 17-0. Number 2, Alderdice, 14-1, number 1 in the state. They went down to Georgia and beat the number 3 team in the state down there.
Yeah, that was a big win. And everybody we've talked to, the most talented team. We didn't say the best team. Most talented teams, Alderdice. We're going to find out if talent takes you to the state championship or not, because they really have a lot of players.
Char Valley in at number 3. Penn Hill surging, having one of their best seasons in the last 14 or 15 years. They struggled the last 3 or 4 years with just 6 or 7 wins a year.
George always thought that was a good school. George always thought they had good players down there. Something was always missing, and they're putting together this year 12-4.
And tied for fifth, Central Catholic and Pine Richland back into our rankings after an absence of a number of weeks. In AAA, Newcastle remains on top, undefeated, followed by Beaver Falls, Mars, York, and Highlands. And in AA, it's El Equipo, followed by Lincoln Park, Greensburg Central Catholic, Quaker Valley. I had them in A last week. I moved them back up where they belong in AA, and Bishop Canavan
That's Mike
in number
Master.
5.
You did a good job. We saw the Quips last Thursday night. I don't know who's going to beat them, but whoever it is better be pretty good.
Yeah.
And in Class A, it's number 1, Monessen, followed by Jeanette, Swickley Academy, Clareton, Eden Christian, and North Catholic. They've played a very tough schedule. A lot of Quad A teams. They're 10-7, but they're 7-0 in section play.
I like the way you say that because that means a lot when you get to the playoffs. As George likes to say, twice I've used George's name because I use a lot of his things. If your toughest game is your first game of the playoffs, you played the wrong schedule. No question about it.
You're going out.
Here's what I like about this time of the year. You got big games coming up, big matchups.
Mm-hmm.
We did the game last week. That's why Pine Richland moved in. They beat Butler 54-52. Had Butler won, they probably would have moved in top 5. Now, going on tonight after our show, this is Tuesday, Quad A, you have Butler 5-4 in the section at North Allegheny 5-3. Central Catholic 7-2 at Pine Richland 6-3. Important games. Butler has Central Catholic coming up next. So Butler, NA, Pine Richland, Central Catholic, and North Hills in there at 6-3, all fighting for those 4 playoff spots, and the section is still up for grabs.
Yeah, very strong 1 through 5. It's unbelievable as a drop off after that everybody's beaten. But when you look at those 5, I can't tell you who's going to make it. Like you, a lot of times you say that's the favorite. I don't see it. I don't see it that way. It could be any of the 5 schools.
I saw North Butler beat North Hills. North Hills looked disheveled, threw the ball all over the place. They go home, and they shredded Central Catholic.
Yes, it's happened all the time.
Home floor's tough, guys. We talked about it 100 times. That win by Pine, as close as it was at Butler, it's a nice win.
Now, here's a big AAA Section 1 matchup, Mars at Highlands.
Yeah, you're not kidding. And we talked about Highlands being the 4th team in that big 3 with Beer Falls, Mars, and Newcastle. And Highlands has shown that we were right. So Mars has to play their very best. They have not played their very best all year. They need to pick it up and get to another level if they want to beat the Newcastles of the world.
Well, especially on the road. We rode to Mars. We leave Mars, and we're thinking
Very impressed.
22-0. I like the kids. I like the practice format. Everything about it. Had some injuries, some struggles, a little bit. Nothing wrong with 13-4, but I don't think it. I even think they thought they would do better.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to be a dominant team, they're 13-4, number 3. Highlands is number 5, 12-3. You have to win a game on the road. Now, for Highlands, this would be huge. I want to ask you guys, how much of a difference has it made with Jamison Need leaving Vincentian and going to Highlands?
Oh,
Jeez, that's all it takes, and that is high school basketball around this area. When you get a good player come to your team, elevation to the nth degree. Because why? There's no Division I players playing. Not many. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Not many.
You have
So
a
if you
very
get
good player do a good. Now you got something special. This isn't Philadelphia.
like Division III, a good Division III player elevates your team out of nowhere. You know, all of a sudden you become a very good
I'm
team.
only speculating, wondering if he is related to the grandson of Danny Nee, who was a longtime assistant at Notre Dame, head coach at Nebraska, then at Robert Morris and Duquesne.
That'd be very interesting if he was. If he comes from a basketball pedgree then.
Yeah, because you got to figure Danny Nee's in his 70s.
No question.
All right, let's go to the girls. Quad A, powerful Norman at the top, 17-0, followed by Penn Hills, North Allegheny, Bethel Park, and Cannon McMillan. In AAA, it's South Park, South Fayette, Hampton, Ambridge, and Blackhawk. In AA, it's Bishop Canavan, followed by Olsh, Burrow, Neshannock, Riverside, and Carn City back in there at 14-2, tied at 5th. In the Class A, it's Vincentian, North Catholic, Jefferson Morgan, the Yellow School, and Sarah Catholic. PG Wrestling, number 6 is North Allegheny 6-4. Number 9, Seneca Valley 7-3, even though the Raiders beat NA. And NA's Jake Woodley, he's still number 1 in a 182-pound class. Now, let's go to our stories of the week. NFL playoffs, AFC Championship, Denver 20, New England 18. Brady now, he's great in every venue in America except in Denver. He's 2-7 there all time. Peyton Manning, 17 of 32, 176. 2 games in a row now, no interceptions, through 2 TDs. He's 3-2 versus Brady in the playoffs. All of a sudden now, Brady sacked 4 times, hit 23.
Oh.
When you looked old.
Well, that's
when
like,
you get hit like that, you can look old.
I would look. Anybody would look old. A 16-year-old would look old. Manning is not the issue in this story. It's the Denver defense totally. And if you see it somewhere different, you're completely wrong. Denver defense won this game. The offense gave the ball back 4 times in a row to Brady. 4 drives in a row, and Denver held up. That's how good their defense is.
He didn't have time. That guy was coming off his right end, the left end.
Von Miller.
Yep.
Couldn't even get in the stance to tackle. He wasn't even
2.5 sacks. Probably hit him another 4 or 5 times.
Oh.
Intercepted a pass. Broke up a pass. What a great game that Von Miller had. And how about the decisions? Now, what about Belichick's decisions? He gets credit as being one of the brilliant coaches around. Twice deep in Denver territory on 4th and 1, he elected to go for it, didn't make it.
That's his style, and you understand he doesn't deviate at all. He's always been a guy going 4th and 1, 4th and 2, and usually they make it. So everybody says great call. There is no doubt that if you have a philosophy, you stick with it. And he's a guy that believes in going on 4th down.
And ironically, a guy that made 500 extra points in a row. Misses one. And I'll tell you what, that 4th down play where he ran right and threw back, somebody did their film work and their homework. That guy was waiting from Denver and got him in the backfield. He never got going. And I didn't see anybody else out there, Al.
Yeah, Harris stayed home. And usually they follow the guy across and Edelman came under. He was there. I'll tell you a big thing in this game for you NFL fans watching. That's why you want your team to be the home team in NFL playoffs. There is no question of mine that the offense could not hear the snap count. The defense was getting off the ball before the offense got there. They'd get ready to move, and Miller was already here. They couldn't hear. They couldn't know what was going on.
This is why I say, and we have the luxury of doing that second guessing, on one of those 2 occasions deep down, if he kicks that field goal, that puts him in position at the end of the game to win it.
Yeah,
I think on one of the occasions, when it's 4th and 1 at the 10 and 4th and 1, what was the other time, like at the 12 or 13? I think you kick a field goal in a game this big and on the road where you're trying to put some points on the board. I think when you come away empty twice, it's hard to come back and get those opportunities again.
You're not doing anything wrong. He can make a mistake. He won't admit it, but he could make a mistake.
I was reading an article in Sports Illustrated about why it's so difficult for rookie wide receivers to make New England, because they have to do so much reading on their routes and adjusting to what the defense is doing. And one of the best at doing that was Randy Moss.
Jeez, oh man, they lied. They lied. I watched him play. He never ran a short route in New England ever. He went
not
down,
short. He ran the best deep routes ever.
He went down the field.
But they said his
double move.
His football on the field IQ was the best they've ever seen.
But there's 2 different things. If you're saying IQ or reading routes, there are
you
no.
told me their routes are all reads though. Now
it's all read.
All short.
Yeah.
Nothing long though. Long they run down the field. Short they come and read the linebacker, and whichever they either come out in or out. They read the linebacker. Nothing long is read. They just run down the field.
But Randy Moss got deep balls from Brady when he played there.
No, he's a tremendous athlete. I didn't say that, but he didn't read
they were saying in that article, he was one of the best at reading defenses and understanding what the defense was doing. That's according to New England.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell them they're wrong, because I watched him play for years, and he reads nothing. First of all, if he's not in the pattern, he runs half speed. So there's nothing he did good.
You're saying but Brady was one of the ones that made that comment.
They all make this thing up on New England. That's a New England thing. What'd you just say? If that was Tomlin who did that, if Tomlin did that, what you just talked about, going for it twice on 4th down.
Didn't make it.
He'd be slaughtered.
No, slaughtered. Who's slaughtering Belichick? George knows how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Well, when you've won 4 Super Bowls, you've built up some equity.
Yeah, true.
But I believe what Brady said about Randy Moss. I don't know what went on there. I'm going by what he said about his ability to read Edelman and there were other receivers. Well, there you go.
That's the New England. New England's going to build their. That's what they do that at Duke. Like I watch Duke play. Oh, they take good shots.
He's been retired.
Duke takes terrible
long
shots.
time ago.
And now, but I watch Moss play forever.
And we're going to talk about Duke.
He does
soon.
Zero. And don't listen to Brady. He lights them up on the sideline with every second he can. He's happy when they're winning. When he's losing, he doesn't talk good about anybody.
How about
All right.
like Kay? The same way with Kay. He's not
yes.
shaking hands.
Oh yeah, Coach K, exactly.
I watched him walk
Run right
by
through the
5,
line.
6
All right,
times.
we're going to get to Duke here
All
pretty
right.
soon. NFC, Carolina 49, Arizona 15. By the middle of the second quarter, I was watching Downton Abbey.
I wish I wasn't, but I'll say this, and Carolina have been winning the game crazily. But it was 17-7, and this is how bad Palmer is. Peterson gets the interception back, runs it all the way back, to the 12-yard line.
Right.
It's going to be 17-14 in an
Right.
instant.
What
Does
do you
it the next play?
Right.
Throws an interception in the end zone.
What
It broke their spirit. You saw them go.
Hey, he called
What do you do in the
Done.
Steeler game?
Done.
Landry Jones,
You
the
called it,
quarterback.
Eddie.
They're done. He throws a pick in. He's one of the worst red zone.
You
I
called
told
it,
him
Eddie.
before
Eddie
the
called
game.
that one.
I called him.
I
I said,
said,
"What do you think?"
I
He
like
goes,
Arizona
I don't
besides-
trust. I said, "Albert loves Arizona."
I know this is tough.
And he goes,
I don't
and he
trust
goes,
him in the red zone.
He goes, "I don't like Palmer."
This is tough, Pete.
Not in the red zone.
I take my glass off. I got to give Eddie his due on this one.
Yeah, he did.
I got to give Eddie his
first
due.
time in a
I
while.
know,
but
first
I'll
time
give
in a
him
He
while.
owes
we
me
give it-
about 90 more, but that's all right. Hey, I never let them forget the New England Giant game.
Yeah.
Eddie, I got to give your
was
due
the
on that
only
because
one that-
Palmer
what
was
you
pathetic.
did, 'cause
No, he does. Palmer was
even-
pathetic.
I watched him. I just don't
You
like
got
him in the red zone.
You got
sure looked right.
Now, he had 4 interceptions, 2 fumbles.
Oh.
No, he's
Cam
pathetic.
Newton, on the other hand, 19 of 28, 335, 2 TDs. How many has he rushed for in his career? 45 or 40? It's unbelievable. 10 rushes, 47 yards, so he counted for 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, no one, and I mean the so-called experts of the world, and that does not us three. I'm talking about the Trent Dilfers of the world. No one predicted that this guy would become a quarterback like this. Nobody. I'm telling you, he's a true quarterback now. Not only does he run great, he passes right. He changed the plays at the line of scrimmage. He does everything good. He's become a great player.
You know what he's doing? He's making other people believe that maybe you can run the spread a little more and run your quarterback.
I don't think they're as big as him, though. So that's the
No,
problem.
I know. He's J.J. Watt size.
He's gigantic. So when they hit him, he hurts them.
Yeah.
He doesn't get hurt
Like
himself.
Kaepernick.
Yes.
Ron Rivera has done an outstanding job. Hardly mentioned.
Yeah, he's one of those quiet types because he's the ones that he doesn't put in the paper like we run our rights. We run our rights better than everybody else. We read them. That's New England's way. Ron Rivera stands on the sideline, gives credit to the players, doesn't say a word. Chuck Noll.
17 and 1.
He's Chuck Noll.
They've won 22 of the last 24, and he was told, I think it was by Ditka, listen, coach the way you're comfortable coaching. Don't try to do it this way. What are you comfortable doing? How you want to treat your players? Do it
They used
that
to
way.
call him Riverboat Ron.
Now, Super Bowl 50 in Santa Clara, Denver's 8th Super Bowl. Manning's 1 and 2. The last one was ugly for Denver, 43-8 loss to Seattle. Carolina favored by 4. This looks like to a lot of people it could be another blowout. I don't think it will be.
It's very interesting because I can't read NFL at all. I'll say this: read this and I heard this. I thought it was great. Denver, every time they wear their orange jersey, they get killed. So I'm going to try to find out what kind of jerseys they're playing. If they wear blue or white, they always play great. They wear their orange jerseys, they're out.
What did they wear at home against New England? The orange,
No, I'm
didn't
talking
they?
about the Super Bowls.
Oh, the
I'm talking
Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowls. Super Bowls.
Okay.
How about 8 Super Bowls? That's pretty good.
Yes.
Yes, for Denver.
Elway and Manning's pretty good quarterbacks to have, huh?
Yeah.
Well, we'll have more to say about it next week because they have 2 weeks to
Yes.
prepare. It's helpful to Manning. He gets a little more time to heal and work on his timing for those receivers. But they're not banking on him to throw 45
point,
or 50
Eddie.
passes.
Yeah, this game's
They
not
want
about
him
him.
to throw 25. They want to rush for 150. Can they run the ball on Carolina?
Yeah, this game is about Manning doing less. You'll know if Denver has a chance to win if Manning does less. If they ask him to throw 40 passes, they're out. They're like the other teams that play Carolina.
You know what makes them special too is their defense. You know
That's why,
the
yes.
team getting the points plays the better defense. Not that Carolina's isn't good; it's opportunistic. Denver got the stats to match. I mean, they just took out Pittsburgh and New England back to back.
Carolina will find a quicker, faster defense in Denver than what they've played all year.
Yeah.
The most underrated thing in this game, though, by far, is the offensive line of Carolina. They just are dominating people all year. That's why they're 17-1. They have all pros all across that line, and then if they do happen to get through once in a while, he gets away. So it's a great offensive line.
And their linebackers do a great job in pass coverage, dropping
They
back.
need,
coverage.
and also they need Davis. You made a good point. Davis broke his arm. Cakeley gets all the ink, but Davis is just
Said
as
he's
good.
going to play. Hey,
How then? How?
I don't know. Said he's going to play. I guess in the NFL you could wear a cast.
Pretty
I
much.
don't think there's any rule. Hey, National Hockey League. How about Phil Kessel? 2 goals. Crosby 1 goal and assist. And the Pens with a 2-13 record at home. They finally beat the Flyers after they were down 2-0, 4-3. A huge game. There's signs of more life and enthusiasm and energy under Mike Sullivan. Then they beat the Canucks 5-4. Malkin, a hat trick, his 10th in his career. He only trails Lemieux by 30 now for his hat tricks. But he's 6th in scoring now, 47 points, 23 goals. He's having a great season.
I'm going, George. This is George's day. I'm going to give credit to George on another thing. This is the third time. He says, when you have good players, you don't hold them back. You let them play. And that's what happened in Pittsburgh. The matchup was not good. Pittsburgh plays better when it's 5-4, 6-5, 4-3 because they're truly outstanding players. They're open ice going. And the coach Johnson before that wanted to win 2-1. They found out they couldn't play that way. This ended up being a good move for the Penguins.
It's like riding a thoroughbred. You don't choke them with the rage and let them go.
And that's what's happened with the Penguins. They let them play.
Now they're in 9th place, 53 points. They have New Jersey coming up here, 55 points. A big game for them this as tonight as we record this show. Huge for them. Now you're getting the second half of the season. It's really time for them. Before we could say a lot of time. Now it's time for them to make their move.
Oh, yeah, no question about it. You don't want to be going down that last week worried about making the playoffs. You want to have yourself in there, give some rest to people, and you're ready to go. No question about it.
Hey, college basketball, North Carolina State 78, Pitt 61 at the Pete. Pitt drops out of the top 25. Maverick Rowan from Beaver Falls area, Lincoln Park, was a Pitt recruit at one point, made a commitment, then pulled out. He had 14 points in the game. Pitt, 2 games there that bothersome. The way they played against North Carolina State, and of course the way they played down in Louisville a couple of weeks ago in that 59-41 loss.
Yeah, there's so much depending on their offense now. Before they could win ugly games, they can't do it now. Their defense is not near as good, so when they don't shoot well, they look bad. The old axiom, shoot good, look good. Shoot bad, look bad. That's big.
19 points at home at half, you're not beating anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And they rebound with a win at Florida State.
Win.
Huge win, 74-72. Next up, Pitt 16-3, 5-2. They're at Clemson Wednesday night. Clemson 12-7, 5-2. But I think Pitt, when you look, I'm going to get to this with their body of work. I don't know why one loss, it drops them out of the top 25. Let's go to number 9, West Virginia 49, Texas 56 at Morgantown. 8 for 23 at the foul line.
Wow.
Huggins had to be pulling his hair out. They come back on the road, beat Texas Tech 80-76. They're now 16-3, 5-2. We talked about Duke, so let's bring Duke into this. Pitt deserves to be in the top 25 more than Duke. Duke number 24. They lost for the 4th time in their last 5 games. They lost to Miami 80-69. They're 15-5 and 4-4. I don't know what they're doing in the top 25.
They don't deserve there, and that's a good point, Eddie. It's Duke. That's why their name is Duke. If it said Delaware on its jerseys, they'd be out. But it says Duke, so they're in there. But Pitt and West Virginia, going back to that real quickly, those are 2. They both went on the road after losing at home and winning. And those are 2 great wins.
Yes, they are. And the other thing with Duke, I think people give them a little slack because of their preseason schedule. You know, they'll go play someone at Madison Square Garden. They'll go play somebody where Pitt is very protective in the preseason. I think it hurts them.
Now, Michigan State, they're at number 12. They started off, 12-0. They're now 17-4, 4-4 in the Big Ten. They lost to Nebraska, 72-71, then rebounded by beating Maryland. There's another team. They're ranked way too high, as far as I'm concerned, the way they've been playing.
Valentine, their best player, and probably the best player in the country, one of the 3 best players in the country, was out for about 3 of those 4 losses. That's why people are ranking them.
All right, let's go to our what I consider the Super 8, what you guys think. I like North Carolina number 1, followed by Oklahoma, Xavier. I like Iowa up there number 4, the way they've been playing. Texas A&M, no one talks about them, 17-2. Louisville, Miami, really good. I watched them against Duke last night, and then West Virginia.
The 2 teams I like out there are Miami and Florida. I like them a lot. Rodriguez is an excellent point guard, can dominate games, and Iowa is the other team. playing tremendous basketball, not just on the offensive side, but on the defensive side. Coach Fran McCafferty really has them play tremendous basketball.
Yeah, there's some good teams in that list. You couldn't go wrong with any of those guys. Larry Nagel's old school. I think they jumped to 4th this week.
Did they?
I think
finally moved up.
And he's a good coach, by the way.
Larry Nagel.
Larry Nagel. Actually, he's old school.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Major League Baseball, they're going to increase instant replay. The National League's talking about the DH, and the Reds are going to induct Pete Rose into the Hall of Fame. Kenny Rogers will be there for the ceremony to sing The Gambler.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like interleague play. I don't like the DH, and you can get rid of instant replay too. But
double hands up. Double hands up.
I'm not going to quit
I
watching
can't take
because
this,
of that.
Eddie. I'm chanting Eddie today because he's on it. Guys, please, what do I want to see another DH, another guy? I want to see if the managers can manage.
Another washed-up player that can't field, so they're going to put him in there so they don't have to manage. They can sleep in there.
Yeah, they sleep.
Hey, do you still have Pedro's phone number?
They're snoring. Yeah, that's what happened. My buddy said that to me today. Why didn't they announce this before they released him? They could have kept Alvarez around from DH. And
well, I don't think it'll be this year, but
2
it's
years
going
down
to
the
come.
road.
It's all about the money, and you forget about the bunt. Don't even practice bunting anymore because it's not going to count.
The union is very much for it because it's 32 jobs.
Yes.
Let's go back to high school hoops. A great one. Number 1 in the state in AA, Aliquippa 74. Number 3 in the state Class A, Farrell 63.
We were there.
Saw the game.
We were there. George did the game on the radio, and I was there. I went to see it. Both teams are excellent. Not good, excellent. I will say right now that when you see the Western Finals, unless Monessen a lot better than I think they are, you're going to see Farrell and Kenny Christian playing 4 times again this year, and Aliquippa was going to be there in AA. So we saw 2 of the teams that have a chance to go to the state championship.
Yeah, a lot of people tend to discredit if you're not in the Whippeal, but Kennedy and Farrell proved that wrong. They are 2 of the better teams I've seen, along with Aliquippa and Newcastle.
Here's my Elite 8 for the boys. I'd like to see this tournament thrown out all the classes: Alderdice, Latrobe, Newcastle, Lincoln Park, Beaver Falls, Mars, Monessen, and Char Valley.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. People would be packing that place.
Oh my!
There'd be cars lined up at 5:30 to see those games. Eddie, you should organize that tournament right now, Eddie. We'll be the guys that collect the money.
Yeah.
You organize it. We'll ready for
Monessen
that.
averages 92 points a game. I'd love to see what they can do against the Newcastle.
They play Quad A teams really well. They played 4 Quad A teams right down to the wire.
Hey, listen to this. The last game when the year's over, that last date, Alderdice and the Nukes are getting together, and the Nukes are going to Alderdice.
Mm-hmm. I've said before, you could throw the classifications out. Because Farrell can play Quad A teams, Monessen can play Quad A teams. You just mentioned that.
I know one team that can play any Quips. The Quips can play any. They are the best team I've seen. Of all the teams I've seen so far.
Latrobe 17-0, Quad A, no state ranking, getting no respect whatsoever.
It's their league, Ed.
The league's so weak. It is. It's so
We've
weak.
been
I get
down
it.
there in years.
But how do you ignore 17-0?
Oh, I know.
Just like Frazier. I told you about Frazier that when football, they were going to get knocked out right away. Well,
What about Joe?
Go Frazier.
Hey, let's go to the girls quickly. Norwin, the Penn Hills girls are very good. Norwin's undefeated. South Park, South Fayette, Bishop Canevin, Vincentian, North Catholic, and North Allegheny. That would be another wild
Once
tournament.
again, those are all very good teams. Norman looks like they're the class this year. It really looks like they're a class. Their scores tell me that they're the team to beat by far.
And what's unusual about the girls, you don't win the Whippeal and just throw a net out. You got to go Erie.
Mm-hmm. Hey, our final week of the basketball season, next Tuesday, February the 2nd, will be at Knock High School. Mars is coming in. And then Friday, February the 5th, we'll be at Seneca Valley for a doubleheader there. We run out of time. See you next week.
Armstrong Local Programming features our community like no one else. Meet your friends and neighbors at special events. Find the perfect pet. Celebrate our region's rich history or enjoy our natural wonders. Armstrong Local Programming is available online, on demand, and on your local Armstrong channel. Find the complete program schedule at ArmstrongOneWire.com. Local programming, exclusively from Armstrong. One Wire, infinite possibilities.